After travelling to Liddon Hill and then Pembrey Race Circuit, we're here at Teesside Autodrome for round 3 of the 2013 Maxxis British Drift Championship. We're halfway through the season now, which means all the drivers have to be at the top of their A game to get those all-important points to climb up that leaders table. So, let's go drifting. So while everyone's getting ready, let's have a quick recap for round 1 and round 2.
An error from Jay White. Fantastic proximity. So taking the top spot is Paul Smith. And Lee Barry is off the circuit. Nick Statham with a fantastic entry there. Blocking Alex Law's transition. But Simon Perry losing a wheel. Running wide. This could be anyone's. Brendan Stone does take the top spot.
So what an exciting season we've had so far, and today's not even begun yet. So I'm going to take you over to Matt, who's going to talk to us about today's circuit.
Thanks, Corin. So we're going to see the guys coming down from the start line, past the drag cone, into this first initiation point. Nice fast track here at Teesside. So we're going to see top of third, fourth gear. Awesome initiations. Drivers really need to get that initiation spot on for this corner. Due to the cambered bank and the wide line that the judges are looking for, to meet this clipping point, they need to be on it. So from that fast first corner, now down into the hairpin, this is where it all tightens up, so maybe those lower powered cars can start closing the doors. This is where you're going to see door-on-door action. So the guy's going to get nice and close on this hairpin into the final clipping zone, and then that's it. Pedal to the metal, full power, the final part of this track.
So before we head over to the track to start the battles, let's have a quick look at how qualifying went.
So taking the first spot was Adam Simmons from Team Slide Motorsport. His teammate Matt Stevenson followed him in second, and then Stephen Donnelly, all the way from Scotland in his Toyota Sora, took the third spot.
It's absolutely baking out there. It doesn't matter what you do. You know, you try and just stand to get a breeze going when you're not out in the car. It's phenomenally hot. I used to get really nervous. We recently went to Germany to do some demonstrations out there, and I was chatting to somebody and she advised me I should use the nerves for a positive. I used to look on them very negative. Now I actually feed off of the nerves, and it makes me drive a lot better.
So let's see the results for the Pro class. Matt Tilliard took first spot, followed by Mike Gaynor, and Richard Grindrod took the third spot, not quite managing to take first as he did at Pembrey.
Have you got a specific game plan?
I think I'm trying to stay smooth. Like normally at Pembrey I got penalised for being a bit erratic, so I'm trying to play it smooth. So I qualified quite well, so now I've got to try and stay smooth. It depends who I'm against. So.
And do you know who you're playing for the top 16?
No, I don't, but if it's somebody sort of high profile, then I might have to try and up my game again.
And do something erratic again.
Where it gets a bit stupid, yeah.
So qualifying for the Super Pro saw a very closely fought battle. The sunny sunshine of Teesside, meaning that the drivers were 6 points between the top 6. So coming in first place was Mark Looney with a staggering 96 points. Mike Marshall following on from Pembrey with 92, and Shane Lynch coming in third again with 92 points.
We had a really good run in qualifying. We had a really disappointing Pembrey, and we've done a lot of changes to the car from Pembrey to bring it back to here. We've detuned the car a lot from last year. We used to run the car to 1,000 horsepower. It's more like sort of mid 600 horsepower now. Slightly smaller turbocharger, but for the circuits we use, it's transformed the car. It's much more drivable, and everything just worked exactly as we wanted it in qualifying. There really was nothing left. We couldn't really have went any quicker or any more to the lines. We were delighted with the qualifying, yeah.
We're just going to go as fast and as hard as we can with the car, catch all the clipping points, and basically go for what the judges are asking, run the qualifying line, which is very fast and technical, but also offering a chance for the chase cars to keep a close line with the lead car and put on a good show.
So the crowd flocked to Teesside Autodrome for round 3 of the British Drift Championship. The sun was shining, and we're straight into our semi-final battle. We've got Adam Simmons in the lead car versus Andy Arnott in the S14. following at the rear. Adam Simmons qualified first, and he's looking to put in a fantastic run here from the Slide Motorsport R33. Andy Arnott closing him down as best as he can, but Adam Simmons putting in that run that the judges were looking for, taking that line and going on to take the advantage in this first run. So the guys switch it around. Andy Arnott will become the lead car, Adam Simmons the chase car in the white R33. Good initiation from Andy Arnott, but Adam Simmons is going to try and close that gap now as he heads into the second corner. The Teesside circuit provides some close and tight drifting, and as you can see, Adam Simmons is getting on the rear quarter of Andy Arnott. Adam Simmons, with the advantage from the first run, is going to try and hold his ground now and keep that advantage through this final run. It's a good run from both drivers, but I think, ladies and gentlemen, Adam Simmons might just take it. So we're straight into our third and fourth place battle. Tom Marshall is the lead car in the E34 BMW, followed by Andy Arnott, who is taking that wide line which the judges have asked for, but making a slight error as he goes into that second turn. Tom Marshall is going to try and keep it as smooth as possible in the BMW to try and gain maximum points on this first run. But looking at this, some errors from both drivers. I'm sure the judges from their viewing point will have seen that, and they will mark them down accordingly. Into the second run, Andy Arnott becomes the lead car, Tom Marshall the chase car, and it's a good initiation from both drivers. Andy Arnott in the Learn to Drift S14 leading the way, but Tom Marshall is hunting him through that middle section. Tom needs to try and keep this consistent, but a straight in there, making an error which the judges will spot. And as they come into that final corner, Tom Marshall with two wheels off the track. It's right into our final then, ladies and gentlemen. Adam Simmons going up against the local boy Tony Walker in that purple PS13, powered by a supercharged V8 engine. He's going to try and use that little bit of an extra power that he has over Adam Simmons in the V8 powered R33 white slide motorsport car. As they go into that middle section, it's a good tidy run from both these drivers. Tony Walker isn't giving Adam Simmons any advantage as they go into that final turn. All evens into that second battle. This could be anybody's. A great initiation from Tony Walker as he leads Adam Simmons into that first corner, both pushing that wide line. Adam Simmons though showing good proximity to Tony. Tony's just got to power it through now this middle section, and it's a spin from Tony Walker. Adam Simmons hard on the brakes to avoid a collision. All Adam needs to do is drift around that final section. A little appreciation to the crowd there with the wave out the window. So we see the results. Andy Arnott took the third spot, Tony Walker in second after that spin, and Adam Simmons scoring maximum points after those 3 bonus points for qualifying first, goes on to take the top spot. The championship standings are in, and Matt Samuel swaps places with Marcin Mucha and now sits in third. Marcin Mucha in the second spot, and Nick Statham extends his lead with 57 points.
Had an awesome day, like fuel pump died, so I've had to have all that rewired in between 2 runs. Run out of tyres, so I did final with no grip at all.
We're right into our Pro Class top 8 battle. We've got Gaz Taylor in the Team Ram Style S14A going up against Dan Firminga in the V8 Volvo 340, a car that has become very popular with the drivers despite this only being its first event in the BDC. So Dan is the chase car, close proximity, but Gaz proving to be a force to be reckoned with in this Pro Class. He's putting in a good run. This could be either way, ladies and gentlemen. We'll have to find out what the judges see, but first of all we'll have to see the second judge run. Okay, we're into that second run. Dan is the lead car with a fantastic initiation. Gaz is going to chase him down in this first corner. Dan perhaps putting a little bit of a lead with some pressure on Gaz, but he runs wide there with one wheel nipping off the circuit. Gaz has probably got the advantage from the judges as they make their way round the final part of this middle section. A small correction from both drivers as Gaz just needs to drift round that final corner, looking to take that win. And it was Gaz Taylor that progressed into the third, fourth place battle against Jay White. Jay White in the Team M&M S14A. In the rear there, chasing Gaz through that first corner. Fantastic proximity. He's almost on the door, ladies and gentlemen, into that second section. A mistake from Gaz, forcing him to straighten and back off, possibly missing the gear change, means that Jay White backed off to allow a little bit of room and avoid a collision, but he's straight back on Gaz as he goes round into that final corner. It's into the second run. Jay White, the lead car, fantastic flip into the first corner here at Teesside. Gaz is holding his ground with him though, but Jay White showing that consistency in 2013, putting in a very smooth run around this middle section. Good angle, good speed. Gaz may be keeping up, but Jay White is just putting the pressure on Gaz to try and take the third spot here at Teesside. Right into our final battle, we've got Team Falcon's Paul Cheshire in the G35, 700 horsepower, going against Barry Hennessy in the chase car. In the MG Crash Repairs Nissan 180SX, Paul Cheshire has put in some fantastic smooth drifting here today to impress the judges and get this far in the competition. But Barry Hennessy is closing the gap all the way round this first run. It's looking a good run from both drivers, Paul keeping that consistency, but Barry maybe just getting a slight advantage there. Into our second run, the guys switch it around. Barry, the lead car, as they pass those cones, they both flick it into that first corner. A straight from Paul Cheshire, and 2 wheels off the circuit. Paul has pretty much thrown this run away. Barry Hennessy just needs to keep that car on the track as he makes it around the middle section. Great clip there showing Paul Cheshire trying to claw it back, trying to catch up with Barry as they make it into that final corner. Barry leads that run with a great advantage after Paul Cheshire's mistake. And Jay White makes it onto the podium once again in the BDC, third spot for him. Paul Cheshire, great drifting, takes second, but Barry Hennessy over from Ireland on the number 1 spot. And the championship results in the pro class look like this. Jay Green with 47 points in third. Alex Law drops into second spot with 54. And Jay White now leading the championship with 55 points.
Brilliant, delighted. I qualified 18th yesterday. Probably the worst runs I put in all weekend. Tyre change. And just took it for there in the top 32.
Stay glued to your seats. After the break, our attention shifts to the Super Pro class. Welcome back to Teesside Autodrome for round 3 of the Maxxis British Drift Championship. We're right into our first top 16 battle. We're going to see ex-teammates Shane Lynch in the Japspeed Monster S15 going up against Stephen Bagsy Biagioni in the Acorn Motorsport S13, and it's a fantastic chase run from Bagsy here. Shane's going to have to push it around the corner and he backs off. A problem there with Shane, causing Bagsy to collide into the back. You can see the light of Shane Lynch hanging there just out the back of the car. Shane's going to make his way round to the pits just to get that car checked by the team. However, I'm sure they'll have that car back out in time. As you can see the replay there, Shane shuts off and Bagsy had nowhere to go. Into the second run. Bagsy on the limiter there, suffering from a gearbox issue. Only first and second gear available here at Teesside for Steve in that 180SX. Meanwhile, Shane Lynch is putting in a fantastic chase run, trying to put pressure on Bagsy to make a mistake. But Bagsy, ever so calm, puts it into that final corner. Just look how close Shane Lynch is in that V8 S15. Great chase run, but unfortunately not enough. And it's into our top 8 run now. First battle between teammates Mark Lappage and Stephen Biagioni. So Baggsy the lead car and Lappage in the chase car. These are teammates, so complete trust with one another. Just look at how close Mark Lappage is getting to Baggsy through that middle section. These guys are not afraid of giving each other a slight nudge, but overall Mark mirroring the drift of Stephen there and putting in a fantastic run. It's all even. Into the second battle, Mark Lappage to lead, and Mark with a fantastic entry there. Baggsy's going to try and catch up with him now, and he is on the door of that car as they go into that second corner. A small nudge from Baggsy on the rear wheel of Mark Lappage, causing him to just straighten back off, give it a clutch kick to get the drift going again, allowing Mark to take a little bit of an advantage through that middle section as they go round into that final corner. Will Mark progress into the semi-final? Okay, it's our first semi-final. We've got Mike Marshall against Mark Huxley. The battle of the Badgers. Mike Marshall, the lead car, with Huxley closing and closing onto Mike Marshall, almost brushing Mike, and Mike running slightly wide to avoid a collision, and off the circuit, nudging the tyres. He's going to give a massive advantage to Mark Huxley. Mark Huxley keeps his foot down in that Volvo with that V8 powered BMW engine. As he goes through that final corner, the advantage will be to Mark. Into the second run. Mark's going to need to make a big mistake to lose this one. He's looking for a place in the final. Mike Marshall, having done well at Pembrey, is going to try and do his best to put pressure on Mark, but Mark will keep his calm and stay collective as he makes his way round that second section. Mike is trying everything he can behind the wheel of that car to stay up close to Mark Huxley in the big Volvo. And as they go through that final corner, I suspect that Mark will take a place in the final. And it's into our second semi-final now. Who will take that final position in the final battle, and who will battle it out for third place on the podium? It is top qualifier Mark Looney in the Toyota Supra in the first corner, leading this battle as Mark Lappage chases him round that second section. A good consistent run without mistakes from both drivers. I expect it will be all evens from the judges as they go through. And battle 2 commences. Who is going to take that final position? Mark Lappage into the first corner, leading against Mark Looney. Looney is going to try and put pressure on Mark. One of these drivers hoping to win this battle, looking pretty consistent again from these two as they move their way through into the final section. Mark Lappage leads and Mark Looney straightening there through that section. The judges will spot that, and I expect Mr. Lappage may make his way into the final. Indeed, Lappage did make it into the final, so we see for the third spot on the podium, Mark Looney versus Mike Marshall in the BMW Touring. Mark Looney, the lead car, and Mike Marshall chasing him down into that second corner as they move into this middle section of the circuit. Mark Looney laying down the smoke screen, and Mike Marshall spinning round there, ladies and gentlemen, scoring 0 points now. But Mark Looney backing off and driving the remainder of the circuit. Judges will score him 0 because he didn't drift to the finish line. And it's into the second run, all to play for. Who will take the third spot on the podium? It will be decided in this battle. Mike Marshall, the lead car, putting in the perfect line, exactly what the judges have asked for. Mark Looney having to use the wand to correct the car in that corner, and again on the handbrake, correcting that car and straightening in that final section. Mike Marshall just putting in a smooth, consistent run, taking the exact lines that the judges have asked for. So we have waited all day to see our final in the Super Pro class. We're going to see Mark Huxley as the lead car in the very long Volvo Estate, powered by a V8 lump, going up against Mark Lappage from Acorn Motorsport in the S13. So Mark Lappage is mirroring the image there and closing the gap all the time on Mark Huxley through that first section. As he moves into the second corner, again, nice and tight to Huxley, great proximity, allowing a little bit of room for Mark to just transition in the Volvo. And Mark Lappage is going to just tuck back underneath Mark Huxley as they go through that final corner. So we've seen a great and epic battle from these guys in that first run. Mark Lappage with great proximity into the first corner. So it's Lappage with a huge initiation, gaining ground on Mark Huxley in the Volvo. Huxley's going to try and catch up, but Lappage is just trying to extend that gap as he goes through that second corner into that middle section. Huxley is not as close as Mark was in that first corner. Huxley's going to try and use all that power from that V8 engine to try and close that gap into that final corner. He's pushing it hard, and as he flicks it round, spinning across the finish line, giving a little wave to the crowd there. And after those epic battles, I can confirm Michael Marshall did take the third place on the podium, Mark Huxley on the second step, and Mark Lappage from Acorn Insurance taking the first place. The championship standings look like this. Brendan Stone in third place, Mike Marshall in second, but David Waterworth 7-point lead, only down to 2 now after round 3.
It's amazing, what's going through me at the moment is mixed emotions. We've had such a long battle getting the cars ready this time, and obviously, you know, we work long hours out of this, and obviously it's just a great hobby, and yeah, it's unreal what the team, myself, have done today. You know, we're chuffed to bits.
Well, we've seen it all today. Sun, sweat, and loads of smoke. And that's made for some amazing driving, hasn't it, Matt?
Oh, again, and another round where we've seen drivers that we wouldn't expect on the podium, drivers that haven't been there before, and cars that you wouldn't even expect to see in drifting, let alone, again, side by side, door on door.
But unfortunately, that's all we've got time for round 3. But round 4, we go back to Linden Hill Race Circuit, where we started the season off. So that's all we've got time for. But in the meantime, go hard or go home.